Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to Sergeant Sarah and Friends. I'm Sergeant Sarah, and this
I'm
is
Agent Shiggy.
Yes, and we are so glad to have you join us back again. This summer, we have been doing the Lord's Army ABCs, and today our letter is the letter E, and so we want to talk to you about that. So when I think of E in the Lord's Army, I think of enlist, the word enlist that starts with an E, E-N-L-I-S-T. And that's what happens when we decide to join God's army. Now I want to read to you Matthew 4:19 and 20 from my Bible. So it's Matthew chapter 4, verses 19 and 20. And it says, "And he saith unto them, Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And they straightway left their nets and followed him." That was Jesus who was telling them to follow him. Enlist, come and join my team and become fishers of men. To enlist means to sign up for service. So they signed up to become disciples for Jesus. And that's what you and I do, Agent Shiggy, when we asked Jesus into our heart. We were enlisted into the Lord's army, and so were you. And now we're on his team. Now we're soldiers in the Lord's army. So now, Agent Shiggy, what's the word you think of when you think of the letter E?
I think of E is also for endurance. Hebrews 12:1 says, "Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us." Endurance means keeping going even when things get tough, just like soldiers on a long march.
Wow, that's a really good one. So boys and girls, if you've seen our other videos, you know that I take a letter or a word for the letter, and Agent Shiggy does, and then we talk about books of the Bible, and then we talk about a Bible hero. So there's many books of the Bible that start with E, so we're going to take turns. So in the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes, that is a long word, Ecclesiastes. Can you say that? That's kind of hard. That is a letter E, book of the Bible that starts with the letter E. It's called Ecclesiastes. And this book was written by King Solomon, and he was known for having great wisdom. Now, this book helps us understand what gives life true meaning and purpose, because Solomon was such a great, wise king that his writings held such wisdom in them. And he is probably considered the wisest person in the Bible. So, Agent Shiggy, if you're thinking that you might need some more wisdom in your life, that would be a good book to go and read. Agent Shiggy, what's another book in the Old Testament that starts with the letter E?
Esther starts with the letter E, and which tells us the exciting story of how Queen Esther bravely completed a special mission to save her people. Even though God's name isn't mentioned in the book of Esther, we can see his hand working throughout the story.
The book of Esther is one of my all-time favorite books in the Bible. That's a good one. Well, now we move to the New Testament, and there is also a book in the Bible in the New Testament, and it's called Ephesians. Now, this is a really big one if you're a soldier in the Lord's army, because Ephesians 6 talks about the armor of God and how we wear that when we battle, and that's important to us. But this was a letter that was written by the Apostle Paul to the Christians in Ephesus. There was a town called Ephesus, and so that's how we get Ephesians, the name of the chapter. And he taught them about God's amazing plan and how to live as followers of Jesus, which that's what we're learning to do as Christians and soldiers in the Lord's army. So now it is time for Agent Shiggy to take it away with our Bible Hero Spotlight.
Our Bible hero for letter E is Esther. Esther was like an undercover agent in the Persian palace. She became queen of Persia at just the right time to save her people from danger. When she was afraid to speak up, her cousin Mordecai told her, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther was brave and risked her life to talk to the king because of her courage. Her people were saved. Esther shows us God can use us right where we are for special missions in his army.
That is so true. I'm telling you, Esther is an incredible story for anybody to be a soldier and to be used by the Lord. Well, now, Agent Shiggy, it is time to send it over to our private, who is going to give you the military phonetic word or directions, if you will, for the letter E, and then we'll see you back. Okay, so now I'm turning it over to our private.
Letter E. In military communications, the letter E is called echo. And when we enlist or join God's army, our lives echo His love and endurance to the world.
Thank you, private. Bravo, Yankee Echo.